Good afternoon, respected teachers and my dear friends, to a small movie on the French Revolution. In today's slideshow, we are going to present to you a summary of events of the French Revolution which took place between 1789 and 1799. The first factor on the list is feudalism and unfair taxation. No one factor was directly responsible for the French Revolution. Years of feudal oppression and physical mismanagement contributed to a French society that was ripe for revolt. Noting a downward economic spiral in the late 1700s, King Louis XVI brought in a number of financial advisors to review the weakened French treasury. Each advisor reached the same conclusion, that France needed a radical change in the way it taxed the public, and each advisor in turn was kicked out. Finally, the king realized that his taxation problem really did need to be addressed, so he appointed a new controller general of finance, Charles de Calonne, in 1783. He suggested the division of France into three estates and that the third estate only be taxed. This system was later taken upon. Let us know more about the estates. In a final act of desperation, Louis XVI decided in 1789 to start the estate system once again. The French population was thus divided into three estates: the clergy, nobility, and the commoners. Two of the three estates, clergy and the nobility, were tax exempted. Thus, this created revolutionary ideas amongst the mind of the third estates. The third estates of the people were 90% of the total French population. The clergy contributed 3% and the nobility contributed 7% of the total population. Realizing that their numbers gave an automatic advantage, the third estates declared itself the Sovereign National Assembly. Within days of the announcement, many members of the other two estates had switched allegiances over to this revolutionary new assembly. The Bastille Incident and the Great Fear. Shortly after the National Assembly was formed, its members took the tennis court oath, swearing that they would not relent in their efforts until a new constitution had been agreed upon. The National Assembly's revolutionary spirit galvanized France, manifesting in a number of different ways. In Paris, citizens stormed the city's largest prison, the Bastille, in pursuit of arms. In the countrysides, peasants and farmers revolted against their feudal contracts by attacking the manors and estates of their landlords. Dubbed the Great Fear, these rural attacks continued until the early August, issuing the August decrees, which freed those peasants from their oppressive contracts. Shortly thereafter, the National Assembly released the Declaration of Rights and of its Citizens, which established a proper judicial code and of the anatomy of the French people. Though the National Assembly did succeed in drafting a constitution, the relative peace of the movement was short-lived. After this, Louis XVI lost total efficiency and was caught in a foiled escape plot. The assembly became especially divided. Mainly due to this, the Jacobins wanted the king completely out of the picture. The king, Louis XVI, and his wife, Marie Antoinette, were both executed. After the execution of the emperor, the famous and powerful political party, the Jacobins, led by Maximilien Robespierre, took the control. But even Robespierre caused extreme tension and actions to the people and the constitution. Robespierre no longer had any justification for his extreme action, and he himself was arrested in July 1794 and executed later. The last subtopic in the French Revolution, the Thermidorian reaction and the Directory. The era following the ousting of Robespierre was known as the Thermidorian reaction, and a period of governmental restructuring began, leading to a constitution in 1795 and significantly more conservative National Convention. To control executive responsibilities and appointments, a group known as the Directory was formed. Though it had no legislative abilities, the Directory's abuse of power soon came to rival that any of triumviral revolutionary France had faced. Just as France was developing a great constitution, Napoleon came into the picture. We would like to tell you the story of Napoleon and his interesting fights, but that is another chapter, friends. For now, it's goodbye from Abhyuday Ganesh Raja and my team. Thank you.